Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to share the 3 things that you need in order to leave your 9 to 5 job. My name is Alecia, and I have been preparing to leave my 9 to 5 job for 5 years. So I have really been mentally preparing myself and going through a lot of things. I am 42 years old. I worked in the corporate world for 17 years. I wouldn't call it a successful corporate career. I would call it just a regular job. I'm a regular person. I had a regular job and I was able to build the self-trust and build what I needed internally so that I could take the giant leap. Now, another thing I'm trying to do here is to bridge the gap, is to not just show you this perfect picture, polished, from a place of smashing success, what my journey was like. Because we get that. So if that's what you're looking for, this is probably not the channel for you. I am not a smashing success yet. I have learned some things. I have created a business. I have built foundations, but I have yet to step into it fully. And I really just want to bring you along on that journey with me so that you can see what's possible for you. All right, let's get into it. So, the first thing that you will need to do is work on mindset and cultivate a positive mindset. What we often do when we want to leave our 9 to 5 job, or what I did anyways, was to begin to create distance. Like, this is not for me. That's not for me. Like, we start to realize that 9 to 5 isn't for us. And so the first thing that we do is we kind of build up this dislike. And that's where you get terms like soul-sucking desk job. And now we have this whole culture of memes that mocks the mediocrity and the office, right? It's a complete like mockery. And so, but when we start to do that, like, if we are victimizing ourselves and we're like, I'm in this soul-sucking desk job and oh, this is so awful. This is like, okay, that's great. But that type of thinking, it doesn't help you to take the next step. And if you're ever going to get out of your soul-sucking desk job, you're going to have to take some steps and move forward. Forward moving momentum, that energy is positive. It's not negative. Growth is positive. Growth reaches. Growth doesn't look down and shame and blame and feel sorry for themselves and be a victim. So that's the first thing. So I caught myself saying that a lot, right? And it was because I felt like that job was no longer for me, that I was different than it. And that was just some words that seemed to resonate a bit. There was a part that felt like, my soul was trapped and that I wasn't being able to express and do what I wanted to do. But that wasn't the way I was going to get out of it. Okay? So if you truly want to start building the momentum, to get out of a place that you don't feel you're living your purpose, you're not connecting to your passion, you need to work on mindset. And so I reframe this as looking at it from the perspective of, who was I when I decided to take that job? And am I that person now? And that's the only thing I had to look at. I didn't have to look at the job, what I was doing, the corporation, or any of them, because it really, really wasn't about them. This was about me and myself. And it's about you and yourself, where you are in your life and where you no longer want to be. So by pointing the finger outward, you're not really going to make a change. Nothing's going to change. And all the change happens within. So where was I when I made the decision, and who am I now? So for me, 17 years ago, I was a single mom. I had just had a baby. I was nowhere along the health and wellness journey. I was nowhere along the self-realization journey. I had no idea that was even a thing. I had been through trauma in my earlier life. I had been through addiction. I had ping-ponged my way into having my baby, who I just love. And yeah, so I did what the universe told me to do. It's like, oh, and I had dropped out of university, so there was that. So I wasn't really in a great place, right? And you might have a lot more, opportunity. But I could go to the business college, and because I was a single mother, I could get a grant. And they would pay for me to live while I went to school. Like, okay, that was awesome, actually. And out of all the opportunities I had in front of me at that time, with who I was and with what I wanted because of what I'd known, that was the best thing for me. So better to not shame, blame, or dislike that. Better to say, accept that. And that's that. It's the healing. Very healing. So where am I now, and would I pick to go to the business college to get a clerical job? Well, no. I became a yoga instructor, and now that's my business, is teaching yoga and being a somatic coach. So that's the work I love. That's the work I want to go into. That is the work that took me on my healing journey that I now share. So that's who I am now. So what are the choices that I'm making now as this person who has 17 years of life experience? So reframe where you are. Remember who you were when you made that choice. And now realize there's a shift that's happened, and now you're making a new choice. But you're going to need to back it up, right? Because we get stuck in cycles. We depend on the pay. All of our payments are set up to come out of our bank account to mimic the amount we're getting, and then we're spending. Our whole lives become entrenched in this job because they provide us the finances, which brings me to my next point. Money. You're going to need to take a good, hard look at money. It means so much. Oftentimes, why we get trapped or feel trapped in the corporate world is because of our money mindset. Because we've been told and we learned that somebody else needs to give us a paycheck. This can often have to do with feelings of self-worth, along with even our feelings of security, going deep into our energy, things we learned as a child. So you need to understand what your money story is. What is your relationship with money? Everybody has a different perspective, and then how you're going to heal and tweak that in order to move forward is going to be different. For myself, for example, I had a relationship with debt where my belief was that my job would only provide the bare necessities. If I wanted to go on a trip, if I wanted to have anything over and above bare necessities, I would have to go into debt. And this included, along my journey, paying for different wellness programs, paying for different coaches, all of that. But all of that was extra, and it was always bringing me into debt. And so I had to kind of get to a place where I understood the mechanism behind it. That doesn't mean that I didn't go into debt anymore, but I have a different awareness of how I think about things. Another aspect of money when it comes to getting your mind wrapped around leaving your 9-to-5 job is understanding oftentimes when we have that one paycheck, one expectation of money, that is the only door that we have opened to wealth coming into our lives. And the energy of money and the universe will abide by your rules. So if you have one door and that is the only way money can come in, That is the only way money will come in. As you begin to open new doors, new ideas, a lot of people have side hustles now. So this is great. This is one way, right? But for me personally, I had to get to a place where I believed so much that I could open up so many more doors to wealth, that one door that had been open for a long time, so that's going to have a really charged signal into the universe. I have to close that first in order for those other doors to open, to make the space. And that, again, is mindset work, coming into understanding your worthiness, doing the deep healing that it's going to take. It's all connected. Which brings me to my third and final point. This is an inside job. Growth, changing careers, going for your purpose when you feel like you've maybe been mediocre at best your whole life, it's going to take some work. And this is where wellness becomes your ally. Find a practice. Yoga is the best. I am slightly biased. A practice that you can anchor into that's going to support you, your biological and energetic body. This is not about making money. This isn't about any kind of outside acceptance. This is about you and your biological human being and how you take care of your human. And that journey, it took me 5 years. The health and wellness journey started 2015. Real spiritual awakening started 2020. Then it took 5 more years. And it's all been centered around my own health and wellness. And as I healed, did practices, I became more confident. I became more aligned and healthier. My mind is clear and I feel capable and excited to see what is possible. And that's what I want for you. And it's a bit of a journey. And now I'm just closing the door on that corporate world, and I am stepping in to that passion and purpose. And I want you to see what it feels like in real time. And that is a journey I will be sharing with you. If you have liked this video, please subscribe to my brand new channel. Please like the video and please share with a friend. All right. Take sweet care. Bye for now.